Hello and welcome to the 54th episode of NiinaN Knitting. My name's Niina and I live in Jyväskylä in central Finland with my husband, our two kids and a dog. Today is March the 6th and it's been 2 months since I last recorded anything. When I last did my episode, I mentioned that the Sukka-Finlandia sock knitting competition was starting on the next day. And yeah, it's been Sukka-Finlandia for 2 months, and now I'm finished with all the 6 stages, and now I can show you all the socks. So I do have quite a few projects to show you. Today is Friday. Everybody is at work, school, and daycare, and I just took a little bit of time before I'm going to work. I don't have classes today, but I have stuff to do at work and I have a meeting. But now I have a little bit of time to do an episode and hopefully get it edited this evening and upload it onto YouTube. So welcome. I have 7 finished objects. I don't have all of them here with me today. I have a little bit of video and just a photo and stuff to show you. But yeah, 7 finished objects and 2 whips. And we'll just get right to it and start with the first finished object, which is a video. Oh, almost forgot. That's one I don't have anymore. It's the first stage of the Sukka-Finlandia sock knitting competition. So it's a competition where all the patterns were in Finnish. You signed up for it by a date last year, and the designers are all Finns. Most of the designs were on fingering weight yarn. A couple of them were made in sports weight. And the first stage is the one that started the competition. It's a pattern called Ingrid by Laitinen. I've made quite a few of her socks before, and some of them were on DK weight yarn in Seitsemänveljestä yarn, and some of them have been in sports weight, and this first stage also is in sports weight. I assume I do have the video running here. So I made the socks in Sandnesgarn Sisu yarn. It's this light blue color, number 5930, and I really like the pattern. Lots of twisted stitches, lots of nice cables, a very basic structure from cuff to toe, and heel flap and gusset, Dutch heel turn, and so forth. I gave these socks, or sent these socks, to my nephew's girlfriend. I mentioned about it last time. I hadn't finished a Christmas present for her on time for Christmas, and I thought I was knitting another pair, and they ended up being way too small. So this is the pair I sent her, and the pair weighs 57 grams. The sock competition fee was, I think, 18 euros, and so far we've gotten 8 patterns for that 18 euros, so that's pretty okay. I think there will be a cool off pattern or something, so at least 9 patterns for the price of 18 euros. And the yarn I knit them with was something I got from a prize draw last year, so I hadn't paid anything for that. So the cost of the socks is maybe €2 for the pattern if you divide the €18 by the number of patterns you get. Yeah, that was the first stage of Sukka-Finlandia. And then the second stage, I do have the socks in here. They're not on sock bloggers for a certain reason. This pattern is called Ihana Valo by Tiia Niemi, and it has this these nice diamonds in color work, in tarja color work at the front of the sock. And I used Novita Venla yarn for the white. So it's this, this yarn, just very basic Finnish sock yarn. This fingering weight 420 meters. Yes, 420 meters for 100 grams. 75% wool, 25% polyamide. And this yarn is just a little bit of a leftover from a previous project. My camera decided to cut that, so don't know what was so inappropriate about that. Anyway, so this is Louhittaren Luola Kultari yarn. It's not a sock yarn, it's a merino bamboo blend, I think. But yeah, just a nice color. The colorway is called Mango. It's very, very pretty. I really like these socks. I knit these using, oh, I forgot to mention the needles from before, but yeah, I'll just finish with these. So I knit these with 2.25 millimeter DPNs. They were Knit Pro Zings, and that's US size 1. That's very small for me, and that's why also the socks are so small. I am very tight knitter, and that's why the socks that were for many knitters sort of medium size, mine fit very well my 7-year-old daughter, so they're small. I think it's like European size 32, so they're small. The cuff is pretty loose, so I think I even tried them on when I just had the cuff or after the heel turn or something. So I could fit it on my foot then. But of course I was just doing the minimum repeats of the pattern for the competition. So yeah, they're too small for me. And yeah, color work in Tarja was not enjoyable for me, let's say, and that's why I'm not gonna rip it out and add another diamond of Intarja or even like elongate the foot, because no, I'm not gonna do that. And the heel flap is pretty basic heel flap and gusset. It's just that it's not slipped stitches. You just continue. Oh, you can really see, even though these have been blocked, but you can really see where my where I changed from one DPN to another. Wow. Yeah, anyway, so you continue doing the reverse stockinette and these little 1x1 cables all through the heel flap, and then you picked up stitches like in a normal heel flap and decreases here. Yeah, they're pretty. You can probably see they've been worn, but yeah, not for me, but they're nice. They look nice, and it's my knitting and it wasn't the pattern, because I know that people who knit from the very same pattern got adult size socks. So it was just that I chose too small needles for my gauge. I should have known, but for some reason I think the gauge was 32 stitches by 10 centimeters or 4 inches. And for some reason I thought that was really like tight. It's not, it's pretty normal, I think. But anyway, so I thought I couldn't get the gauge with my normal 2.5 millimeter needles, and that's why I took the 2.25, and that was just too small. I don't think that the stitch gauge is that small, but the row gauge was really small, but they're nice, and my daughter likes them. The downside is, of course, that she's 7 and her foot keeps growing, so she won't be able to wear these very long, but for the time being, they're nice. And yes, the needles for the first pair were 3.25 millimeter, that's US size 3 bamboo DPNs. And yeah, it was a sports weight yarn, so you needed bigger needles for that. These socks weigh 54 grams, and of course this was just a little leftover, and I don't remember how much it cost, but the Venla yarn I used, just counted how much yarn I had used of this Venla and how much it cost. It was like $6.50 a ball or something. So the cost of these socks without the pattern was about 3.5, €3.50. Yeah, that's it for the second finished object. The third finished object was the third stage of Sukka-Finlandia, and I have them in here. One of them is on sock blockers and one isn't, but yes, I do have a pair. Again, okay, let's just mention the pattern before, just first. Valse, Triste by Mäkilä, and so it's a musical term. And this yarn, again, is Novita Venla. The black in here has got some sparkle. You just can't see it in here. No, but that's Sukkapuffa säihky. No, Puffala Sukkapuffa säihky. And the colorway is called Heavy Metal Show. I used it for a shawl earlier. And this burgundy color here is Alte Kunste Sockenwolle. The colorway is called Rubin. And then the rest of the sock is Drops Fabel in colorway 104. And you did a provisional cast on. I'll just show it in this. Oh yeah, and then there are beads. I'm not sure if you can see them in this light. Maybe a little. Yeah. So you did a provisional cast on and a folded brim, and then color work with beads. Very interesting. I love using beads. Color work, not so much. And the combination of color work and beads was agony. Yeah, and I really like the colors in here. My color choice was very nice. I absolutely love them. The sock, however, is too big for me. I don't remember, because it's been a while since I tried them on. Don't remember if the leg was too loose. I'm kind of thinking maybe it was. All the leg has these 1x1 cable turns. It was not fun to knit it. I'd started the sock with just some, let me think. The color work was done into a 3.0 millimeter needle. That's US size 2.5. And then you changed, or I changed into 2.5 when you started doing this unicolored thing. And I started with some Knit Pro Zing Circs. And the Zings, they don't have a very, very sharp and pointy tip. And the join between the cord and the needle tip, there is a snag, and it was really bugging me. And knitting this, doing all the cable twists, and just not being happy with my knitting needle, I ended up buying a pair of Chaugu 2.5 millimeter Circs for the sock. And after that, it was okay to knit the rest of it, because the Chaugu needles have really nice and pointy tips, and the join between the cord and the needle tip is absolutely wonderful. The stitches just glide over, and that is because I'm a tight knitter and my stitches are very, very close to the needle, and when I slip them from the cord to the needle, it's not nice if there's just this little bump. I got caught again. Anyway, so yeah, these are done, and if the foot is loose, as I kind of remember, if my recollection is correct, then I will not be ripping out the toe and making them my size. I'll just keep them and give them as a present for somebody at one stage. Actually, the sock blocker that I have them on, I've woven in all the ends and everything. They're all done. But the sock blockers are something I got this January, I think. I ordered them from Etsy, from Lithuania, I think. I'll put the link in the show notes that you can find in there'll be a link to the show notes in the description box. That's the Raver Rup from my podcast. I will have to sort of sand these blockers a little bit, because there are a couple of like little snags in here. But yeah, they're really pretty, and they weren't very expensive, so that's good. That's also always good. As for the cost of the socks, let me see. What did I write? Okay, so the socks weigh 84 grams. The fobble is very old stash, and these leftovers, I just don't remember how much I paid for them, neither for the fobble either. So I don't know the cost of the socks. One thing that I did forget to mention before was that, you can't see because this fobble burgundy is very, very dark, but the heel is not a heel flatted gusset, it's a Flegel heel, and you did the decreases here, I think, behind the heel, and then the sock, the toe decreases are not your usual can't see because it's too dark. Well, maybe you can see that it's not the normal, sort of normal, or the basic sock decreases. They were a little more complicated. But yeah, very, very nice pair of socks, just too big for me. And yeah, didn't love doing the color work and beads together. Even though the end result is nice. Kind of. Yeah, that's a little loose too, because I was paying attention not to make it too tight. And then of course, putting in the beads was kind of fiddly, and doing it while doing color work is even more fiddly. But yeah, they're done. And then the fourth finished object is another pair of socks for the Sukka-Finlandia. This pair is wonderful. And I got some really nice yarn. Okay, let's start with the yarn. After knitting this dark, is it burgundy? Oh, I don't know. Dark violet, whatever. This dark color, and doing the cable turns in this color at this time of the year. I was kind of not looking forward to using a very dark color for the next stage. And all we knew was that it was going to be fingering weight and one color. So what I decided was to go to NiinaN, which is one of the local yarn stores here in Jyväskylä, and I got me some yarn. This is what I got. It's a wonderful opal 4-ply pullover sockenvolle. Just, your regular sock yarn, fingering weight 420 meters, I think, in 425 meters in 100 grams, 75% wool. No, I think this is virgin wool. Let me see. Or is it? Yes, virgin wool. 75% for virgin wool, 25% polyamide. So I wanted something that would not be too dark, something bright, and I knew that NiinaN had this colorway, so I was going there to buy this, and I did end up buying this really neon yellow colored yarn. And the socks that I got or that knit are spectacular. Oh, I love them. So they're a pair. I only have one in my faux foot, my mannequin foot. This pattern is called Laura Socks by Sari Nordlund, Finnish designer. She's a little known, let's say, just a little, can't say well known, but a little known outside Finland, I think, too. I used my 2.5 millimeter Chaugu needles because, yes, you have all these twisted stitches and all the pretty cables. So I figured that, yeah, this is a Chaugu needle pattern, and it's beautiful. I took some photos on a very bright and sunny day. I'm gonna insert some somewhere. I love these socks. I really do. But I have forced these on the foot, on the mannequin foot. And this foot is a little bit smaller than mine, I think. And as you can see from the heel, it's even a little small for this foot. So what I will be doing with this pair is that I will undo the toe, continue, I think one full repeat of the pattern, because this is also the minimum repeats of the sock pattern. I'll do another repeat of this pattern, and then I'll get a wonderful sunshine pair of socks for myself. Let's see what I wrote down. Yeah, there were quite a few charts to stay on top of. Thank God there's this app called Knit Companion. I had it on I have it on my phone, and I downloaded this sock pattern on my phone, and I was using the Knit Companion app to keep track of the chart, and it was a life savior, I think. But yeah, it was well worth it. I love these socks. Yeah, they weigh about 60 grams. So the cost of the yarn for these socks is about €6.55 for the pair. As they are now, of course, after I fix them from my foot, it'll be a little bit more. But yeah, as for now, I love them. Sari Nordlund has some really nice sweater patterns, I think. I haven't knit any of hers before, but I really love those socks. And then there is another stage of Sukka-Finlandia. This is on the other foot. This pattern is called Kattia kanssa. Katti is cat in Finnish, or it's a nickname for cat. Kitty cat or something, maybe. Kattia kanssa is like, wow, I'm not gonna try and explain it. I have two, but I just have one on the foot. And as you can maybe see, it's very loose on the foot. These are big. These are all color work, as you can see. You started, I used my 3.25 needles on the ribbing, on the toe, on the heel and on the toe, and 3.5 millimeters for the color work part. 3.25 is US size 3 and 3.5 millimeter is US size 4. Bamboo DPNs. And the yarns I used here are, well, the charcoal color here is Novita Nalle, an old Novita Nalle. So this is an old ball band. And then this brownish color here is Laitinen Ex Machina Basic Merino Sport. And the colorway is called Alabaster. I knit a beanie using this and another Laitinen Ex Machina yarn this winter. So you did the colorway. Well, you were supposed to do these 2 rows using 3 colors. So the charcoal nalle, and then this pink is also nalle, and this light blue here is the one that I use for the stage 1 socks. So that's Sandnes Garn Sisu yarn. So this was these 2 rows were in 3 colors, but then after that you were supposed to use just 2 colors. So this Laitinen Ex Machina yarn and the charcoal color, even in these parts. But the instructions were to use the contrast color where you will afterwards duplicate stitch the colors for the face and the nose and the eyes. They're light blue, and then of course the twinkle in the eyes. So you were only using 2 colors, but it's a lot of color work. There were some additional colors for the back of the foot too. And I had originally thought that I would do them, or to do the duplicate stitching on the back of the leg too, back of the cuff, but I think they look nicer now. I'm not gonna mess it up anymore. They're not they're not these two are actually not 100% similar. This was done according to the pattern. So you were supposed to use the contrasting color for the bits where you would use duplicate stitching and use the light blue and the pink. And then these little marks here, I think, was also supposed to be another color. But I actually like it like this in two colors, and I don't want to add other colors. So as you can see, this is not the same as this. They're not a pair. But I think they both look nice. And the same with the soles of the foot. They're a little different, the pair. This was the first sock that I knit, first of the pair, and I wasn't paying attention to the pattern. Plus, I didn't actually even do the contrast color for these bits either, but I found it kind of difficult to keep track of the stitches because they were all in this charcoal gray when you were doing the duplicate stitching. So on the second sock, on this sock, I did do these parts in the lighter color, and that was a lot easier to do the duplicate stitching afterwards, because I could see the stitches better because it's kind of dark during winter. But yeah, they're fun. The heel flap, well, you can't see it because it's so dark. It's a very basic, for us Finns, it's the basic heel flap and gusset with slip stitches, the construction that we learn at school, Dutch heel turn. And the only difference is that you were slipping stitches on the wrong side, and on the right side you knit twisted stitches for the ones that had slipped on the wrong side. So it looks kind of nice, I think. I like this one. The one that I don't like about the heel flap is that it has these this garter edge on both sides of the heel flap. Not too crazy about that. For some people, it's easier to pick up the stitches, and yeah, kind of it was, but I like the way I do it better. The way I do it normally better than this. Yeah, and of course the toe, what isn't the one that isn't just your regular toe. It's hard to say because it's so dark. I'm not sure if it's called radius decreases or something in English, but you do have more than 4 decreases on each round, but then you have quite a few rounds that you're not decreasing. Yeah, it creates a different toe. Did I write anything else down? Yeah, so because it's color work, and I was really being careful not to pull too tight. So I know I could see that these socks were gonna be a lot of work. So I did want to get socks that I could really like fit in a foot and not too tight so that you couldn't get over the heel. So yeah, these are very loose, and the downside of very loose knitting is that it's not very durable on the soles of the sock. So and they are loose for me. They are a little too big. So I will probably keep these as bed socks. I'm not a cat kind of person, so I could probably give them to somebody who really likes cats. But the fact that I don't think they'll wear well, I'm kind of afraid that if you wear them like normal socks, then you'll wear them out pretty soon. I don't want to give anybody that kind of present, the one that's not durable. So that's why I'll probably keep them for myself, as bed socks. They weigh 119 grams, and they have a variety of stash yarn, old stash yarn, and I have no idea how much they cost, so no clue of the prices of the yarns. Yeah, that's the fifth finished object. And then the sixth one is actually something that I just finished yesterday, but this is the last stage of Sukka-Finlandia. So this pattern is called Päivä Provencessa, a day in Provence. It's a pattern by Soile Pyhänniska. I used my 2.5 millimeter needles because it's a fingering weight yarn, even though there's quite a bit of color work. That's 2.5 millimeter. It's US size 1.5. I used some Knit Pro Cubics needles, DPNs, for this, and I kind of like them. The needles. The socks, well, it's all color work, and what's worse, it's all very repetitive color work. Apart from this part, which is really ugly in here, because the sock is really damp. It's not fully dry yet. Like I said, I finished them yesterday, and then I wet them and I put them on the blockers, and they're still wet. But yeah, once I get them dry, I'll try and sort of make these a little neater. This technique is something that I had never done before. I think it's an Estonian thing because the name Roosimine is Estonian. It's a bit as if you had used a needle and a thread to make this pattern. It's supposed to be a flower, but mine is not very nice. It's not very neat. You used thicker yarn to do this, and instead of using a needle and a thread, after finishing the sock, you were doing it while you were knitting. So you had these yarns in a separate ball. You were knitting some stitches, and then you would sort of put the yarn in the front or at the back for these parts. What can I say about it? Well, it was just not my kind of thing, really. And of course, it's the first time I did it. They're not neat. Maybe in another sock, doing it like over again, being more experienced in doing it, maybe the end result would be better. But I'm not convinced as for now. And then of course the base patterning is just the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And this sock is too big for me also, which is fine. Because even though I like my main color, this is the main color, it's nicer than I thought, and I didn't even mention what it is. This is something I got from somebody's stash or something. I think, yeah, I bought a whole lot of yarn for a very little sum of money. And this is what it is. It's Valo Admiral R Duck socks. This is fingering weight. What is it? 75% Sukka-Finlandia virgin wool, yeah, and 25% nylon, and 420 meters in 100 grams. This actually looks knit up pretty nice. And then I have the blue and blue. Well, it's not even close to being blue. It's the green, the apple green. Here's Drops Fable, colorway 112, apple green. And then for the Rosimine part, I have the Sunnet Garn Sisu yarn that I used for my first pair for Sukka-Finlandia. But yeah, so yes, I do have a pair. There are two of them. This is the first one I knit. It's very, very loose. I was very conscious of being a tight knitter and didn't want to do too tight color work. So it's like very, very loose. And the second one, it's pretty loose, I think, until the heel. But then I was just trying to be done with it. So the foot part is a lot tighter than this one. I'm not gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them once I get them like dried. I will try and, make these flowers neater and then get some nice pictures of the pair. But after that, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how much they weigh because they're damp now, and besides, they're some old stash. I don't know how much I paid for them. This is a French heel turn slip stitch. Yeah, I think just slip stitch, heel flip, and gusset. And then there's some colorwork stripes after the heel, and then you did the decreases here instead of like further up here. I've never enjoyed knitting heel flaps as much as I did while I was doing these socks and these socks, because I was like in agony when I was doing the color work, and once I got to the heel flap, I was, oh yeah, one color, yay! Yes, that completes my Sukka-Finlandia socks. I did not knit the warm-up pattern. There's a warm-up sock pattern, and then there's a mitten pattern that's based on the sock pattern. For that same kind of patterning, it's a color work pattern, the warm-up pattern. So no, I think I've had my fair share for quite a while. And then there will be a cooling off pattern of some sort at one point. Sukka-Finlandia ends this Sunday, I think. It's the Women's Day in Finland. I'm not sure if it's the International Women's Day, but yeah. That's my Sukka-Finlandia.
Right, so my battery died, and I didn't have time to charge it and talk about my whips. So I just decided that this will be a Sukka-Finlandia edition. So I'll talk about the whips I have now. Next time they'll be finished objects by then. And the one finished object that I had now, that's my dog's tail. So one of the finished objects that is not a Sukka-Finlandia pair of socks, you'll see next time, because I don't really have them now, so I only have photos. It doesn't matter if I talk about it next time. I hope that next time won't be in 2 months, but you never know. I make no promises. Until then, I hope you have a really good time. Happy knitting!